welcome to The Secret Truth. I'm George Butler along with Jim Mars here on my right. And gosh, Jim, this is an exciting JFK conference, but of all people that I've interviewed, and I've studied this from the very start, on the very day that it occurred. I was in the Army at the time, 19 years old. But you are the one person of anyone that I could remember, even recall, that knows more about this than anyone else. But welcome to the program. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you, George. I guess that's because at the time I was actually pretty close to it. I was in the university in a course for a degree in journalism, and of course this happened right in my backyard. And besides that, I have a picture of me dancing on the stage of Jack Ruby's Carousel Club that was taken about a month before the assassination. So I had met Jack Ruby. I knew who ran Dallas, and yet I wasn't part of that. So I think that kind of gave me an objective viewpoint on what was going on, and I've been following this case, ever since it happened.
Well, one of the interesting parts of your career was, did you not do police reporting initially after college?
Yes.
For the Fort Worth
Star-Telegram.
Yeah, and so that gave you a basis for police work or criminal reporting, did it not? And that was very important.
That's exactly right. And in connection with my work in Fort Worth, very often I would come to Dallas to cover stories. In fact, I would come to Dallas and I'd cover whatever story I was assigned, and then I might be sitting in front of a police official or a county official or a city official, and I'd say, hey, what can you tell me about the Kennedy assassination? And even as a young shaved-tailed reporter, it was very clear that there was an aura of fear. There was a lot of fear. Big, tough cops that almost crawl under their desks. They didn't want to talk about it, So it was obvious to me that something was going on other than a accidental shooting by a lone nut.
Well, what I didn't like was on the 50th anniversary of the event, they closed that down to most people that knew the most about it.
That's right.
I saw you up on the railroad tracks, I think, with a group. I think Tasha Plumley, and you were up there.
That's right.
And I was up there looking at shots for video, and I did a deal with John B. Wells up there that year, I believe. But and also your book, one of your books, Crossfire, I don't think it shows up in the library there at the Texas School Book Depository.
No, of course not.
Anything is good. They don't want that there.
No, they don't want anybody to trouble them with the facts.
Right. I understand now. Gary Fannin told me that there's a research portion of that Texas School Book Depository museum, that does have some of your material in there, I believe. But it's you got to go in there and make an appointment only and things like this. Then they'll bring your book out. So is that because it's such an ancient, classical, held book, or what?
I tell you what, they would probably argue that it was just a bunch of conspiracy theory or speculation or whatever, but it is not the truth. You've probably seen it or read it.
A new term for that would be conspiracy scholar.
Yes.
You are truly a conspiracy scholar at the top of the group, I would think.
That's right. And I always try to tell people that if it's not an act of God, planes crash, cars wreck, ships sink, but if it's not an act of God, somebody planned it that way and it was a conspiracy.
Right, I know. They try to, did not the conspiracy idea or label come out of the JFK? Was that created specifically to cast dispersions, to order negative?
Exactly. In fact, that stemmed from a 1969 memo from the CIA to its assets. And that means not just agents or employees, but anybody who had contact, anybody who would help them out. And it said, we're worried about people who are criticizing the Warren Commission's theory of one lone assassin, and said this cast doubt on the U.S. government, and we need to put a stop to that. So call anybody who brings up contradictory facts, call them a conspiracy theorist. And that was passed into the mass media, and that was been pretty...
it's been built on, that concept,
been built on ever since then.
Conspiracy nutcases, and they're way off. And
anybody says
they don't care about America because they're conspiracy people.
Exactly. Yeah, anything that goes contrary to the official party line, then it's a conspiracy theory, no matter how much evidence you have piled up.
You can have absolute evidence. You can have video and audio of it happening, totally.
And it still goes on. You could have a picture, you have a photograph of Donald Trump handing money to a terrorist or something, and they say, well, it was photoshopped. It's just a conspiracy theory.
Well, what are your comments on this last election? Where do you think the country's headed, and what would be your comments on the election outcome and so forth?
Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is I don't think we had an election. I think we had a referendum, and the referendum was on the New World Order. Do we really want to go down this socialist path to a New World Order? And obviously, the mass of people said no, and so this referendum was kind of a kick in the teeth of the New World Order. But then, on the other hand, when you start looking at Trump personally and his connections, and the possibility of coercion and blackmail, the fact that he's already doing some things, he's backing off of some of the things he promised during the campaign. So we'll just have to wait and see. It could be a really good thing, and I'm hoping that this election of Trump is a really good thing for the country, that we'll get off of that leftist socialist road and do something a little bit different. But then on the other hand, he's already making here early, before 2017, before he takes office, he's already backing off of some of the things he said, and so we may end up with just another New World Order
he seems
minion.
to have a lot of Goldman Sachs people in background around him.
Exactly.
And Josh Kushner worked for Goldman Sachs too, and that's his son-in-law's brother, who's connected to Peter Thiel and hundreds of millions of dollars through the Thrive groups.
Exactly.
I mean, it just goes on and on. It's hard to.
Well, and if you know anything about what they collectively call the New World Order, they don't take any chances. They back both horses in a race.
Right. Exactly. Well,
so we don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
It seemed like there was a indication that she was thrown under, the bus there because of.
Well, she had some.
Definitely, he came out of the nowhere with that.
Right, but then also because she had so much dirt.
Yes.
There is, including dead bodies in the wake of the Clintons, political
the
career.
The side.
Yeah, exactly. And they may have decided that there's too much dirt.
What came to my mind was she began to tarnish and destroy the Democratic brand, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And she became a focus of exposure of too many different dark secrets of the network, of the real criminal conspiracy that does control things. And that could be why they got rid of her.
Exactly. But that's also a good faction of what has passed for an election is the fact that even the dullest citizen now realizes that the media is biased. It's under control. It's the corporate media, mass media. And also that these pollsters, they're not objective. It's whoever hires them. They're going to turn the thing. And I know this. I took a course in polling one time, and just by asking certain questions, you can get the answer that you want.
You can structure the poll like you want to.
Exactly.
With the questions you ask.
Exactly.
And you can ask who you want to ask. Right?
That's right. And if it's a telephone,
I ask all Democrats. I'm gonna get.
If it's it is prohibited for pollsters to call cell phones, and most people today are using cell phones, especially younger people.
Well, the millennials then would be excluded from that polling.
So they're out. But
I think some of those are waking up. Some of those, I hope.
Some of them
they are.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are. So that's what I'm saying. One good thing is that people are beginning to realize how manipulated the public is, and hopefully they'll back away from that.
Well, and I've come up with some ideas that we've had seeming over the last, say, 6 decades that I've noticed and been an observer from 12 years old till now, is that we've had a debasement of the society. And what that results in is a lot of emotionally distraught people.
Right.
And the reaction to that is the crying and the you know what I mean? But it's on both sides. It's all the way from the left to the right. I mean, the society has been changed. The transformation of the American society has occurred.
I love the line that says on this past election that the Democrats have never been so upset and mad except when the Republicans took away their slaves.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
God,
Boy, that's so true, isn't it?
Well, I was down at a David K. Johnston hate fest a few weeks ago at the Texas Book Festival, and they called him a con, Trump, and all this before the election, and they just roared with laughter, and they just really love that the hate and resent the Trump,
Well, as me,
wins. Yeah.
I was on a program that covers most of Europe, and the host was saying, "Well, Hillary's a shoo-in. Hillary's going to win," And I said, "Not so fast." I said, "I don't think you're taking into account the vast amount of just average Americans out here." And I said, "I think there's a real good chance that Trump will get it, and if he does, you watch. There'll be riots in the street." And I was right.
Did you make a trip to Prague just recently?
No, I was invited to Prague, but I didn't get over there. But I do understand that they are sending me the Prague Peace Prize.
They awarded you that, and I believe Ole Damagard, and then Fritz Springmeier. Was he also awarded that too?
Yes.
But congratulations on that, Mars. You deserve about 15 of those. You know what I mean? Not just one for your dedication, and we certainly appreciate all your hard work and everything.
Well, thank you so much, George.
Over the years. But thank you for being with us, and we certainly appreciate the time and dedication.
Okay.
Thank you.